Hello viewers, you're watching Nahoo News Weekly, presenting this week's news to you. It's me, Gifty McConnell. Please stay tuned. As we move on to our first news, Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed said that the success of the construction of the Great Ethiopian Renaissance Dam shows that no one can stop Ethiopia's prosperity. The Prime Minister was in Guba and announced that the second turbine of the dam has started generating power. In his message on the same program, he said that going through this history is not only an opportunity, but also a victory. Ethiopians are lucky. We have been lucky, the Prime Minister said, adding that he feels great joy for being the bearers of this opportunity and victory. They said that even though our early ancestors tried hard to use the Nile, they failed, and now we have achieved this victory. Therefore, he said that our forefathers went through a lot. We have transformed what was at the level of ideas into action, thus making what was said to be impossible possible. And the current success of the construction of the dam shows that no one can stop the prosperity of Ethiopia. He also mentioned that they paid Ethiopia not only their money, but also their lives to make this a reality. The Prime Minister said that it is necessary to be motivated for greater victory. He said that even the countries of the river basin should understand that Ethiopia has no specific purpose other than meeting its energy needs. For this, they mentioned that the current construction process is proof and asked them to take action to resolve the situation through dialogue. He thanked Ethiopia for their contribution to this result and congratulated them for the success achieved. Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed, President Sahle-Work Zewde, Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Demeqe Mekonnen, and other senior government officials attended the event. When the construction of the Great Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is completed, it will have a capacity of 74 billion cubic meters of water, and currently the two turbines will generate 750 megawatts of power. African women's rights protocol should be implemented by all African women, said President Sahle-Work Zewde. President Sahle-Work pointed out that today is the 19th anniversary of the Maputo Protocol, which focuses on women's rights in Africa. The president announced that the implementation of the Maputo Protocol is constantly being improved, but some countries have not ratified it. She added that the African Women's Rights Protocol should be implemented by all African women in a message posted on her Twitter page. The Maputo Protocol is an agreement that aims to ensure the universal participation of African women. The agreement was reached in February 2003 to strengthen the political, social, and economic participation of African women and increase their decision-making capacity. It has been confirmed that there are 70,000 undocumented foreign nationals who have entered Ethiopia from 36 countries so far. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs also announced that the process of registering these undocumented foreign nationals is continuing. Ambassador Meles Alem, the spokesperson of the ministry, said that 70,000 citizens have been registered so far in the registration process, which was extended until August 13, 2014. According to the registration document, there are foreign nationals who have entered the country through the border and who have expired their residence permit or visa. The spokesperson stressed that the appropriate action will be taken against undocumented foreign nationals who do not register by the last extended deadline as per the international law. India's ambassador to Ethiopia, Robert Shetkin-Tong, said the relationship between Ethiopia and India in the field of education is contributing to the development of the relationship between the two countries. It was also announced that the Indian Institute of Technology, Roorkee, has signed a memorandum of understanding with 4 government universities. The institute celebrated its 175th anniversary with its former Ethiopian students in Addis Ababa. At the same time, the Indian ambassador to Ethiopia, Robert Shetkin-Tong, said many Indian scholars have expressed that they are doing their part to support the education sector by participating in teaching in Ethiopia. He also added that this has played a significant role in strengthening the old bilateral relations between the two countries. Currently, about 1,500 Indian professors and teachers are engaged in research and teaching in more than 40 universities. Education is still an important tool for the relationship between the two countries, said the ambassador. He also mentioned that Ethiopians who have benefited from free education in India have played a significant role in the development of the relations between the two countries. Ethiopia and the World Bank signed a $165.2 million aid and loan agreement. The $165.2 million grant and loan agreement was signed between the Ethiopian government and the World Bank in an online ceremony for the implementation of a sustainable land management program that reduces land degradation and improves productivity. The Sustainable Land Management Program is implemented in 170 districts and 217 watersheds in Amhara, Oromia, Tigray, Southwest Ethiopia, Sidama, Benishangul Gumuz, and Gambela regions. It is said that the program will benefit 4 million people in 789,000 families by making consistent and supportive sustainable land management activities and by expanding the practices and systems of effective conservation and use of natural resources. The program focuses on integrated watershed development, community and institution building around land management, integrated land use planning, issuance of tenure certificates to farmers, and project management. In this way, we will carry out multifaceted activities to improve the livelihood of low-income farmers who are vulnerable to drought due to climate change. Ethiopia's ambassador to the US, Dr. Engineer Silashi Bekkele, had a fruitful discussion with Gregory Mix, chairman and member of the US House of Representatives Standing Committee on Foreign Relations. During their discussion, Ambassador Silashi explained to the chairman of the Standing Committee on Foreign Relations that the efforts to deliver humanitarian aid to the victims in Ethiopia are yielding results and the challenges that are still being faced. In addition, they gave a wide explanation about the natural disasters that have occurred in the country, the activities that are being carried out to build peace and democracy, and other issues. Ethiopia is outside the agreement where African countries supply their products to the US market without tariff and quota restrictions. He explained the HR 6600 and S3199 documents and the current Al-Shabaab harassment. Therefore, Ambassador Silashi requested that the AGO embargo imposed on Ethiopia be lifted and the two documents be rejected. In addition, the ambassador stated that since the relationship between Ethiopia and America has lasted for more than a century, it is necessary to work together in trade, investment, energy, peace building, and security. The Minister of Women and Social Affairs, Dr. Ergoge Tesfaye, discussed with the Indian Minister of Social Justice and Empowerment, Dr. Virendra Kumar, the possibility of strengthening the social relations between the two countries in New Delhi. In their discussion, the officials agreed that there is a need to increase the relationship between the two countries in a strategic partnership. They also discussed the issue of helping the economically disadvantaged sections of their society through capacity building programs, a job creation, youth training. They agreed to work specifically on the empowerment of the disabled, prevention and rehabilitation of drug abuse, and the elderly. The minister said that the Ethiopian government is working on a new project to establish a center for the elderly. She appreciated the Indian government's support in the Ethiopian education system and requested it to strengthen the education opportunities provided to Ethiopian students at various times. India's Minister of Social Justice and Empowerment, Virendra Kumar, said that the comprehensive relationship between the two countries is admirable. She said that her country is interested in taking this relationship to a higher level. In particular, the Ethiopian government's efforts to increase women's participation are indication of the government's attention to gender equality, Ethiopian News Agency reported. As we move on to our final news, it has been suggested that the food reserves for the international refugees in Ethiopia will run out in October. It was also stated that an additional $73 million is needed to feed more than 750,000 refugees living in Ethiopia for the next 6 months. The Ethiopian Refugees and Returnees Service, the World Food Programme, and the United Nations Refugee Agency have announced that the food stocks for refugees will run out in October, which will leave refugees vulnerable to food shortages and disease. The World Food Programme Ethiopia Director, Claude Gibidar, said that at least $73 million are needed to feed the refugees living in Ethiopia. And if the aid from various partners decreases, the refugees will be forced to return to their places of origin, which are not suitable for living. It has been pointed out that the amount of food stock of refugees in Ethiopia is only about 50%. General Tesfaye Gobazai, Director of Refugees and Returnees Service, said that if the current food shortage continues, coupled with the food shortage in various areas, there is a risk of conflict. This was this week's Nahoo News Weekly. Please stay tuned with the remaining programs from Nahoo Television. It was me, Gifty McConnell, presenting this week's news to you. Until next week, have a good time.